Everybody to the That's Debatable podcast. I definitely did not just talk bad about Instagram while Facebook was live 18 seconds before. But welcome back to the That's Debatable podcast. Hope you all are having a wonderful day, and if you're not, you already know the drill. You've come to the right place, especially if you want to listen to sports. How y'all liking the new time? The podcast is now going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern. I realize, a lot of people prefer that time at 5 p.m. because 4 p.m. was just a bit of a weird time. So 5 p.m. it is from now on, weekdays still, still not doing weekends, but 5 p.m. Eastern on weekdays. So yeah, we got some stuff to get into. Some stuff happened, in the NCAA, and very interesting stuff. So we're actually going to start off with that, but before I do, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. For my Instagram, guys, it's my link in bio. For my Facebook, guys, it's on my feed. Turn post notifications on all three platforms so you're up to date with all the videos and live streams. Without further ado, let's get straight into the first question. So, what were your first thoughts after the Jalen Suggs buzzer beater? I thought my first thoughts were, going back to, the legendary buzzer beaters from, other college basketball games. This was one of the best college basketball games that we've seen in a long time. UCLA and Gonzaga put their heart out into this game, and I have to give the utmost amount of respect for both these teams because both of these teams gave it their all. And somebody was saying, whoever, even though Gonzaga won, these two really, showed out. They showed up and showed out, and UCLA can't hang their heads because they were the 11th seed coming into this tournament, and they made it all the way to the Final Four. I didn't expect them to beat Gonzaga, but they almost did. They almost did. They could have pushed it to an overtime, too, and that could have, won them the game. UCLA could have won. But Jalen Suggs is a stud, man. Oh, my gosh, this kid can play. I think while I was at the court just now, and the guys were talking about it, and they were like, man, this could push him up, more favored into the, number one draft spot, right? And I'm like, man, it possibly could, but I still think Cade Cunningham's going to go first. But Jalen Suggs with that block and then the game winner, the kid can play, and, he's definitely league bound. He's definitely NBA bound, and my first thoughts were just going back to the old buzzer beaters. I think of Michael Jordan at North Carolina when he hit that shot from the left wing. I thought of that as well when I saw that. I didn't watch the full game. I rewatched it afterwards, after it was live. But, man, Jalen Suggs can play. And, I'm excited for the game tonight, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get into my predictions later in the show. But, man, he can play. Jalen Suggs can play. I'm proud of this kid. I'm proud of UCLA. I didn't think that we're going to get this far. I thought it was going to be Oklahoma State. That would be the one surprising people. But it's March Madness. It's full of surprises. And, this is what it is, man. March Madness gives you things that, college football doesn't give you. The NFL doesn't give you, right? Or the NBA, has its moments. But March Madness is you lose, you're out. It's one game. You lose one game, you're done. That's why there's so many upsets and all of this stuff. So, absolutely insane game. One of the best games that we're going to remember for a long time. And really proud of both these guys. And Gonzaga's obviously in the final now. So on to some football. What does Aaron Rodgers have left to prove? I think what he has left to prove is a Super Bowl. He has to win another Super Bowl. And because for Aaron Rodgers to win the Super Bowl, it can't just be him. Because for years, like I've mentioned before, and, I take this Aaron Rodgers topic very seriously because I think from a talent perspective, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback of all time. Obviously, the resume goes to Tom Brady, and that's why he's the GOAT. But I think from a talent perspective, the best quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. And so you look at that, and I think that you look at their team. The defense from the Green Bay Packers has not been good. It hasn't been good over the years. And, it's just recently starting to get better. But the only thing that we have memory of the Green Bay defense is one of the players' hair. That's it. right? Their defense is not spectacular. He has Devontae Adams and guys to throw to, but he didn't always have that. right? There have been times that Aaron Rodgers has showed up and his teammates didn't, right? Because Aaron Rodgers can't catch the ball for receivers. He can't run the ball for running backs. He can't play safety. He can't play defense. He certainly can't rush the other quarterback, right? Because he's not built like that, right? He's not built that way. He is a quarterback. He has a fantastic arm. The guy has won an MVP award at 37 years old. This guy, throughout his whole career, has 486 touchdowns and only 85 interceptions. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a 500 to 1 TD to interception ratio. That is amazing. That's why I think he's the best quarterback from a talent perspective. And he just shows up. He makes lower graded receivers look like they're elite. That is the talent that Aaron Rodgers brings. He's going to need help though. Because, when you think of back in 2008 when he was, he had that season and all that stuff, he was playing well, but, he still didn't have the help that he needed. He still doesn't, right? When you think of the lack of trust that Matt LaFleur has in Aaron Rodgers, it's not positive, right? That's something that needs to be fixed. I think you should have trust in Aaron Rodgers, and I'm never, ever going to forget that 4th and 1 that they should have gone for, but Matt LaFleur took the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, and not only did he take it out of his hands, he gave the ball back to Tom Brady. So that was a huge mistake. I'm never going to forget that because it just makes me mad thinking about it, why you wouldn't give it to Aaron Rodgers on 4th and 1, that close to the end zone, right? So just didn't make sense to me. But I think that Aaron Rodgers has to win a Super Bowl next. He has to win a Super Bowl in order to solidify his legacy. Obviously, he has one, but he needs another one. Obviously, of course, he's not going to get to Tom Brady. He's not going to win 7 rings, right? The guy's 37 years old, but he's still playing fantastic. You think of last season, 70%, completed 70% of his passes, about 85, touchdowns. Not 85, 60 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. The guy's he's playing absolutely amazing. So when you look at Aaron Rodgers, I think that he needs another Super Bowl to solidify his legacy. There's no doubt if he doesn't win another Super Bowl, he's still going to be a Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer without a doubt. But you look at him now, and I think he needs another Super Bowl to solidify his legacy. Who will be more important in Gonzaga versus Baylor? Will it be Jalen Suggs or Drew Timme? For me, it's Drew Timme. Because Jalen Suggs, like I mentioned at the start of the show, is a stud. He can play. We know he can play. But Drew Timme, if they can't contain him, if Baylor can't contain him, then they're in trouble. Because this is a guy who creates mismatches and that can score the basketball. We saw it in the last game. If Drew Timme gets out of control, it's going to be hard to stop. It's going to be very, very hard to stop, and I don't think that they'll have an answer for it. Like I said, Jalen Suggs can play. We know he can play. But it's just that if Drew Timme gets those mismatches, if they don't have an answer for him, right? Because we know that Gonzaga can shoot the 3 ball. But inside the paint, Drew Timme is a different breed. He can play. So I think the key here will be Drew Timme. I think Jalen Suggs is going to have a performance, right? I think he's going to play well. But Drew Timme is capable of creating those mismatches, getting the ball to the basket, and scoring. We saw it in the last game. We've seen it before, and I think he will be the key for Gonzaga tonight. And it's as simple as that. Who should be drafted first, Justin Fields or Zach Wilson? I think it should be Fields because we don't look at Zach Wilson like we didn't really talk about Zach Wilson until the end of last season, really. We've been talking about Justin Fields for quite a while. For the whole season last year and up until now, it's been Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence. Those are the 2 main quarterbacks that we were talking about. Zach Wilson, obviously is a good quarterback. I like the way he plays. They both have an equal arm. Justin Fields is bigger. He's stronger. And you look at all that, I think Justin Fields should go before Zach Wilson. We don't know if he will, but I think he should because we see how he did. We see how he played when he was injured. He was hurt during that one game and still continued to play and still showed up. Still played very, very well. We think of the past years he's been at Ohio State and, came up from Georgia and all that stuff, and he played well. He's been playing well over these past few years, and obviously he is NFL bound, and I think that he should go before Zach Wilson, and that's no shade at Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, I respect the hell out of the guy. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's gonna have a good NFL career, but in terms of him going first and before Justin Fields, I don't think it should happen. I think Justin Fields should go first because Justin Fields is an absolute talent. We think of the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Deshaun Watsons of the world, and things of those nature. So Justin Fields is on that level. I think he can get to that level or maybe even better. That is how good Justin Fields is. I'm not saying Zach Wilson can't, but I think Justin Fields just wins that there. I think Justin Fields is better. I think he should go before Zach Wilson. So Baylor versus Gonzaga, who will win? I'm gonna go with Gonzaga. I'm gonna play it safe here. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga. I think they complete the perfect season. It'll kind of suck if they don't. But I think they get the job done here because, like I mentioned just now, we have to think of Drew Timme. We got to think of Jalen Suggs. These guys can play, right? Gonzaga hasn't lost at all this year. Excuse me. They haven't lost at all this year, and we got to take that in consideration. I think Baylor can take advantage, though. I do think that they can take advantage within the paint and at times around the perimeter. I think they can do that. But I think Gonzaga walks away with it here. I don't expect them to win in a blowout. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. I'm very excited for this game. I'm also going to be watching Monday Night Raw as long as, while watching the NCAA final. But I think that, this is going to be a good game, but I think it's going to go to Gonzaga. I think they win it here in a very tight game. And I'm just might go to overtime. I'm not saying it for sure it will, but it's going to be a tight game, and it might go to overtime, but I think Gonzaga walks away with the perfect season. So now we have our Wrestling Week review. So if you guys don't know what this is, I pretty much go through everything Monday Night Raw, NXT, or AEW, depending on what I covered that week. So this week last week I covered NXT, but let's get into Monday Night Raw first. So not a lot of interesting stuff. All the interesting things are gonna happen this week because it is WrestleMania week. We got WrestleMania this Saturday. Drew McIntyre issued a warning to Bobby Lashley. The Hurt Business, kind of imploded. We had, Shelton Benjamin attacking, Bobby Lashley and turning, defending Cedric Alexander, his tag team partner, and, he attacked him. And then, he went backstage. Him and Cedric Alexander went backstage and said to Adam Pearce, I want Bobby Lashley in a one-on-one match. So that happened. Sheamus defeated Riddle. That was that. We had more stuff with Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon. He announced that it's going to be in a steel cage match. So that was something there. The Miz and John Morrison had, the hey, hey, hop, hop, music thing that they were doing there. It was funny, I guess, but kind of dumb at the same time. So, I don't know if I'm really a fan of, the music stuff, them doing this. It's kind of dumb. Having Bad Bunny here, I thought, he was just going to make an appearance at Royal Rumble and then leave like most celebrities do, but he's actually competing at WrestleMania, so that is something. And John Morrison's not competing because apparently he's injured. Bobby Lashley ended up defeating Shelton Benjamin by submission. The New Day teased AJ Styles and Almost about chemistry. I just made a song about Osmos, that's why. And then, we had Xavier Woods and AJ Styles almost got involved and, attacked Xavier Woods and ended in disqualification. Then we had Adam Pearce, controlling the contract signing with Rhea Ripley and Asuka, and that kind of, spiraled out of control with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax coming out, and, they were pretty much like, oh, you're not the same how you were. They challenged them to a tag team match, and Rhea Ripley accepts on the behalf of her and Asuka. So while Asuka is laid down because she got hit with a table by the hands of Rhea Ripley, Drew McIntyre in the main event, not the main event, Drew McIntyre defeated Ricochet by pinfall, because if you guys don't remember from last week on Raw, Bobby Lashley kind of put a bounty on Drew McIntyre because, people wanted, he wanted him taken out. Then after Mustafa Ali comes out, and attacks Drew McIntyre post-match, and then, he wants a match with Drew McIntyre. And so Drew McIntyre ends up defeating him. Drew McIntyre calls out Bobby Lashley after the match and asks him to, says to deal with him himself. Lashley came down to the ring, promises, the mauling that he gave him at Elimination Chamber would be nothing compared to what he's going to do at WrestleMania. And then all of a sudden, King Corbin comes out from behind and attacks him, and they both jump Drew McIntyre, and the show closes out. So we don't know what's gonna happen there. We gotta see on Monday Night Raw tonight what happens. Guess word got around to SmackDown in the words of Corey Graves. So yeah, that's what happened on Raw. Now on NXT, not a lot. There was some things. We had Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai going back and forth, attacking each other, and Raquel Gonzalez kind of won it all the times, all the brawls and all the stuff. Cameron Grimes defeated Roderick Strong by pinfall, so I guess Roderick Strong's not really in that Undisputed Era rivalry anymore. He just automatically gets taken out unless he's gonna have a part to play in the match this week at TakeOver. We had Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell defeated Gigi Dolan and Zeta Rainier by pinfall. The Way will face Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart at TakeOver. That happened. Raquel Gonzalez defeated Zoe Stark. LA Knight won the Battle Royal to determine the 6 members of the Gauntlet Eliminator for the Night 1 of TakeOver. Stand and Deliver. And he's going to enter last. So that's what happened on NXT. Like I said, not a lot happened there. Then we get into SmackDown. I was kind of, multitasking while watching SmackDown, but I did end up catching everything. Edge came out and expressed his frustration about Daniel Bryan being added to the match and it being a triple threat match. Natalya defeated Shayna Baszler. Bianca Belair defeated Carmella. I have no idea where Carmella appeared from. She hasn't had a match in a few weeks. So the main event was a street fight match. Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso. Daniel Bryan defeated him by submission, and then attacks Edge and Roman Reigns after the match, and then applies the yes lock to Roman Reigns until WWE officials pull him off. So that was pretty much wrestling week. Now final thing of the day. That took kind of long, it felt. But Riverdale review now. Now, if you haven't watched Riverdale yet and you are in the midst of watching it, then I would suggest clicking off because you're going to hear some spoilers. But if you don't watch Riverdale, then you can stay. Unless you decide if you want to watch it, then and you don't want spoilers, then you can click off as well. But so we had Riverdale. It was a pretty good show. It was a pretty decent show again. We had, the FBI agent, I keep forgetting his name, but that works with Betty, and then, took her out to dinner and stuff, and then stabbed him, and then took him to the hospital right after because Charles and Chick, come back, and that brings, there's a huge breakout at the prison, Hiram Lodge's prison, just blew out the wall. Penelope Blossom comes back, and, I didn't even know she was locked up, to be honest. I honestly didn't know she was locked up. I thought they killed her out. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they killed Penelope Blossom out. But it was a pretty decent show. They had the breakout. Archie, was just being Archie. So that was that. You know, we had I can't speak today. Veronica going back to New York to handle business with Chad. She was supposed to be back on the train the next morning to go back to Riverdale to see Archie. But Chad lied about signing the divorce papers, and she had to stay in New York because Chad got into some debt and all that stuff. Archie's, you know, heartbroken, all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. The main wrap up of Riverdale there. We have another episode this Wednesday, of course. I'm pretty sure at least. So that is that. That is going to wrap it up for today, though. I get through these topics way too quickly. I feel like I'm rushing these, and it's just like, wow, 20 minutes, and it felt like I talked on forever. But that's actually going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast today. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, go ahead and subscribe to it. For my Instagram guys that are watching, it's in my link in bio. For my Facebook guys, it's on my feed. Turn post notifications on all 3 platforms so you're up to date with all the videos. Stay cool, stay safe. I'll be back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm getting too used to saying 4 p.m. Eastern, but I'll be back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Be here. I'll be here. We'll talk some more sports. Take it easy, y'all. Stay safe. I'm out, yo.